Imagine a loyal canine, hero one who once saved lives on the front, lines left to die alone in a freezing storm. But what if one stranger's decision changed everything? This is the incredible, true inspired story of Shadow, the forgotten police dog whose rescue ignited a nationwide movement. Stick around, you won't believe the twist that saved him. In the heart of rural Pennsylvania, where rolling hills brush against forgotten farmlands, lies a small town called Willow Creek. It's the kind of place where everyone knows your name. Friday nights mean high school football under bright floodlights, and the local diner serves the best apple pie in the Alleghenies. But beneath that cozy Americana charm, quiet stories of heroism and heartbreak unfold every day. This is one of them, the tale of Shadow, a German Shepherd canine who went from decorated police hero to abandoned stray, and the rescue that not only saved his life, but lit a fire in thousands of hearts across America. Let's go back to where it all began. Shadow wasn't always a rescue case. Born in a specialized Texas breeding program in 2015, he was destined for work that demanded courage. From puppyhood, he showed that spark, the laser focus and unbreakable drive that mark top-tier working dogs. By age 2, he was paired with Officer Mike Harlan, a seasoned cop in the Philadelphia PD K-9 unit. Mike, a former Marine with Afghanistan tattoos and a carefully concealed soft spot for animals, quickly bonded with him. Together they were unstoppable. Shadow's nose could find narcotics in false compartments, abandoned warehouses, even in vehicles built to hide anything. He tracked fugitives through dense alleys and once saved Mike's life during a dangerous 2018 summer raid. A gunman ambushed them in a parking garage, bullets cracking through the darkness. Mike took a graze to the arm, but Shadow lunged without hesitation, tackling the suspect and holding him until backup arrived. Newspapers called him Philly's four-legged hero. Kids lined up to meet him. He earned medals, parades, and a spot on local TV. But heroism has a price. Years of intense work wore down Shadow's body. By 2022, at 7 years old, arthritis attacked his hips, a cruel reality for working breeds. The vet recommended retirement. Mike fought the decision, but department policy was unbending. K-9s were treated as tools, not lifelong partners. Shadow was transferred to a retirement program, but bureaucratic cracks swallowed him. He ended up in a shelter outside Philadelphia. Mike visited when he could, but promotions, transfers, and life pulled him away. Meanwhile, Shadow waited in his kennel day after day, his once sharp eyes fading. Then came the betrayal that changed everything. Overwhelmed and underfunded, the shelter struggled to place a high-maintenance retired K-9. One rainy autumn evening in 2023, a careless volunteer made a devastating choice. He drove Shadow into the countryside near Willow Creek and dumped him on the side of a deserted road. No collar, no microchip check, just a shove and fading taillights. Shadow, confused, aging, and in pain, watched the only human he trusted disappear into the storm. Winter hit Pennsylvania hard that year. Snow wrapped the hills like a frozen shroud. Shadow survived on scraps behind farms, and the occasional slow rabbit when his aching hips allowed the chase. His once glossy black and tan coat tangled with burrs and mud. Fleas tormented him. A cut from barbed wire festered into infection. Locals sometimes spotted him, a ghost dog slipping through barns and across highways. But no one stopped. In a world drowning in distractions, who had time for a stray? Enter Sarah Thompson, a 32-year-old single mom and volunteer at the Willow Creek Animal Shelter, a hospital nurse by day. She balanced long shifts with raising her 8-year-old son, Tommy, who had autism, and connected with animals far better than with most people. Life had tested Sarah. Her husband walked out after Tommy's diagnosis, leaving her to rebuild from the ground up. But she was resilient, the type of strength only small towns know how to forge. One stormy December night in 2023, sleet hammered her old Ford pickup as she drove home after a double shift. Tommy sat in the back, humming softly. Suddenly, a dark shape under the bridge caught Sarah's eye. At first glance, she thought it was a coyote. But as headlights swept over it, she froze, a dog, skeletal and shaking, ribs protruding sharply. Shadow lifted his head, meeting her gaze with a silent plea that hit her like a punch. Sarah wasn't equipped for this, no leash, no gear, nothing, but she couldn't drive past. "Tommy, stay in the truck," she said calmly. She grabbed a blanket from the trunk and approached slowly, speaking in soft tones.
"Hey, buddy."
"It's okay. I'm here," Shadow growled, training telling him to guard. himself, but Sarah didn't flinch. She sat on the frozen ground, ignoring the sleet soaking through her scrubs, and tossed him a granola bar. Inch by inch, he crept closer. When she finally touched him, she felt the scars beneath his matted fur, scars earned in a different life. With determination and patience, she coaxed him into the truck. Tommy's eyes lit up. "Mom, he's like a superhero dog." Back at their small ranch house, Sarah assessed the damage. Shadow weighed barely 50 pounds instead of 80. Infection raged in his wounds. Frostbite gnawed at his ears. With no emergency vet available, Sarah did what nurses do best: improvise. She cleaned wounds with antiseptic, wrapped him in warm towels, and fed him broth by spoon. She stayed by his side all night, whispering comfort as he whimpered. Tommy lay nearby, telling Shadow stories of brave dogs until he fell asleep. The next morning, Sarah rushed him to the local clinic. Dr. Elena Ramirez, a tough, experienced vet, examined him. "This dog's been through hell," she said. Ear tattoos, markings. A quick scan confirmed it. Shadow, badge number K147, Philadelphia PD. Sarah gasped. This wasn't just any stray, he was a decorated hero. His recovery wouldn't be easy. Shadow needed hip surgery, antibiotics, and physical therapy. The estimated cost over $5,000, far beyond Sarah's reach. So she posted on Facebook, "Found this brave boy abandoned. He's a retired police K9, help us save him?" It exploded online. Neighbors shared it. The local news picked it up. Donations poured in. Veterans, cops, dog lovers. A GoFundMe hit $10,000 overnight. Strangers sent blankets, toys, handmade treats. As Shadow healed, his story unfolded like chapters in a novel. Sarah contacted the Philadelphia PD and learned about his past. The raids, the heroic saves, the mishandled retirement. When Officer Mike Harlan found out, he drove to Willow Creek immediately. Tears streamed down his weathered face as he reunited with his partner. "I thought you were gone, boy," he whispered. Shadow licked his hand, tail thumping weakly. Two warriors together again. Healing wasn't simple. Shadow had deep trauma. Fireworks and loud noises sent him trembling. Tommy, gentle, patient, intuitive, became his emotional anchor. The boy read to him for hours, taught him tricks, and slowly rebuilt his trust. In return, Shadow gave Tommy confidence. For the first time, Tommy spoke up in class, inspired by his superhero dog. Sarah watched their bond grow, a reminder that sometimes the rescuers become the rescued. Word spread beyond Willow Creek. A national morning show featured Shadow under the headline, "From Hero to Homeless, the K9, Story Changing." America. Viewers across the country were moved. Petitions emerged to reform K9 retirement laws. Celebrities shared it, boosting awareness. Donations surged to shelters nationwide. Willow Creek's adoption rates hit record highs. But the true climax came in spring. 2024. A tornado warning ripped through Pennsylvania, sirens blaring as dark clouds churned. In the chaos, a 5-year-old boy from town went missing in the woods. Search teams combed the area, but heavy rain washed away scents. Sarah volunteered in the effort and brought Shadow. "One more job, buddy?" she whispered. Despite age and pain, Shadow's instincts roared back to life. Nose down, he powered through mud and debris. Hours passed, hope fading, until Shadow broke into a sprint, pulling Sarah behind him. Under a fallen tree, trembling and cold, was the missing boy. Alive. Shadow nudged him gently until rescuers arrived. Willow Creek erupted with relief. The forgotten hero had saved one more life. That moment sealed his legacy. Willow Creek declared a Shadow Day, complete with parades and fundraisers. Mike Harlan moved closer to help care for him, forming a new family, with Sarah and Tommy. Shadow spent his final years surrounded by love. Long naps in the sun, warm beds, endless affection. He passed peacefully in 2025 at age 10, surrounded by his pack. But his legacy lived on. By that year, over 20 states had passed Shadow's Law, guaranteeing lifelong care for retired K9s. This isn't just a story, it's a reminder. In a world quick to discard the loyal, rescues like Shadow reveal America's true heart: compassion, second chances, and unbreakable bonds. If you've ever loved a dog or felt the sting of abandonment, let this story move you. Before we wrap up, if Shadow's journey touched your heart, and I know it did, hit that like button right now. It helps this story reach more animal lovers who need to hear it. Tell us in the comments, What's your rescue story? Did you save a pet, or did a pet save you? Let's build a community where every story matters. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. We share powerful, heartwarming stories like this every week. Stories that prove miracles still happen,